The number one challenge that I hear from salespeople and business owners alike is I do not have enough meetings in order to hit my sales goals. And what's crazy about this is that this is a solvable problem. We can always set more meetings. There are always things that we can do that we can take full ownership over, that we can take full control of in order to set more meetings. So in this video, I'm going to show you the 5 keys to an amazing sales prospecting campaign to help you set more meetings. Check it out. Number 1, get organized. Now, you're probably thinking, really? Get organized? That's the key to setting more meetings? Well, it really is. In this day and age, we need to be really organized with our campaigns. You know what? Back in the year 2000, when it was just randomly making cold calls to leads, fine, maybe you didn't have to be as organized, but now we need to know exactly what tools we're going to use and how they're all going to fit in to follow a sales prospecting campaign. There's got to be a consistent flow, and so we have to map out every step in advance that every single prospect is going to go through. You almost want to think of it like a factory assembly line, where at the beginning of the assembly line, you have someone who has no idea who you are or what your company offers. And they're going to go through this process. And by the end of the process, they're going to be warmed up enough to the point where they're willing to have a meeting with you. That's the only goal of this entire assembly line. And so we've got to organize that whole process and think through, how are we going to call, email, LinkedIn outreach, text, call, voicemail, letter, right? The whole process, so it's fully mapped out and organized along the way. Number 2, good data is everything. This is so key because I see a lot of salespeople who are doing prospecting, they're doing the work, they're doing the activity, but then they're calling on leads or they're reaching out to leads and they don't have great phone numbers or they don't have great emails. We've got to have really strong data to make sure that A, we actually have the right contact info, and B, if we actually get this person on the phone or we get them to reply to an email, that they're actually someone that we want to talk to. Because the worst thing that can happen is that you're reaching out to all these people and you know what? Half of them actually wouldn't even be qualified to actually schedule an appointment in the first place. This is so much effort and activity that we want to make sure that our data is rock solid. So whether you're dealing with data that's coming inbound or whether you're buying lead lists or whatever it is, you've got to have strong data and make sure that it's good and test it and verify it and make sure that we're only sending emails to valid emails. All of that stuff has to be organized and really strong upfront. Number 3, leverage all of your platforms. And by platforms, I think of almost like what are the different ways that you can reach out to an individual in your space, right? Some of the common ones are things, of course, like phone, email, social media, maybe texting, maybe a postal service or FedEx or UPS, whatever, right? What are all the platforms that you can use to reach out to someone, to get in front of them, to get their attention? Maybe it's a drop-in, right? That's a platform in its own way. We've got to make sure that we're using everything that we possibly can because you never know what's going to be the most effective way to connect with any individual. It might be that they only respond to emails, or it might be that, you know what, they don't even look at their email and that it's really about phone. Or maybe it's that they're on social media and they're only on LinkedIn, right? We just don't know. So we want to make sure that we're really peppering in all of these different platforms in our campaign to make sure that we're most likely to get through to any specific individual. Number 4, WIIFM is king. Now you might be asking, well, what does WIIFM stand for? Some of us may know it stands for what's in it for me. That is the mantra. That is the motto of every single prospect in the entire planet. All they're thinking when they're receiving a call from a salesperson or they're getting an email from a salesperson, all they're thinking is, what's in it for me? And if they can't answer that question, then they're going to hang up that phone or they're not going to reply to that email. We've got to put ourselves in the shoes of our prospects and think, what do they actually want? What do they care about? What would be in it for them to get on the phone with a salesperson? Because everyone knows that when you get on the phone with a salesperson, you're going to be sold, and that's a generally unpleasant thing. So the what's in it for me question is so important to make sure that more people are going to want to get on the phone with you or get on that Zoom or have that face-to-face meeting. And it really comes down to what is something that you can offer them? What is something that really is going to be attractive enough to get on that initial meeting with you? So thinking through what is it that really is at the core of something that your prospect really cares about. What's that key challenge or that key offering, that the little carrot that you can dangle to get them to be interested to actually talk to you? Really, really important. WIIFM. Number 5, slow and steady wins the race. Now, I see so many salespeople and business owners when they put together their prospecting campaign, they are just taking on so much. And it's really hard to keep up with. And so maybe they do it for a couple of weeks or a couple of days, or maybe even a few months. But then eventually it just becomes so much work and they can't keep up with it that they eventually stop. And stopping is the equivalent of quitting. And quitting means it's all over. So slow and steady wins the race. I would rather see any salesperson or business owner sending out 10 emails a day and making 10 calls a day and doing every single workday, as opposed to one salesperson who's making 40 dials today and sending out 40 emails and then not doing anything for the next few days. Slow and steady wins the race. Be consistent. Have your campaign, know what the steps are, make sure that it's reasonable and realistic and sustainable, and then just implement all the time consistently, and make sure that it's not so much that you just can't keep up with it. Because once we stop, the lead flow stops. We've got to keep at it. So there are 5 keys to a sales prospecting campaign to set more meetings. And if you enjoyed this video, then I have a free training on the step-by-step formula to closing more deals. Just click right here to get registered instantly. Seriously, just click right here to get registered. This is an in-depth training that will help you close more sales at higher prices, all while generating more appointments. Also, if you got some value, please like this video below on YouTube and be sure to subscribe to my channel by clicking my face right about here to get a new video just like this one each week.